Hello, everyone, and welcome to the October 31st Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework Biweekly Sync. I'm your host, Hugo Bernier, and today we have a packed agenda. We're going to talk about the latest updates on the SharePoint Framework. We're going to bring up our community project updates. We're going to have our favorite picture time with Together Mode, and then we have two fantastic demos with Nello D'Andrea and Nicole Beck Dekkara. We'll talk about building real-world intranet with SPFx in page navigation. And then Guido Zambarda is going to talk about how to get started using the application customizer. We have tons of resources available to you. You can access them all by going to aka.ms/community/home. We have community videos, we have LinkedIn group for discussions, we have open source repositories where you can contribute to some of the tools that we'll be talking about today. We have sample galleries, and boy, do we have lots of samples. And again, you can get all of that in a single link at aka.ms/community/home. Now, this is part of a series of community calls for Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community calls. We have our M365 and Power Platform call, which is a weekly call with Microsoft speakers. Then we have our Power Platform monthly call, as well as our Office add-in monthly call. And then every other week, every other Thursday, we have either the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community bi-weekly call or the Viva Connection and SharePoint Framework bi-weekly call. If you want to download the recurrent invites, you can go to HTTPS, I don't know why I mentioned the protocol, aka.ms/community/calls. On our next Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly call, which will be on November 5th, we'll have the latest news from Microsoft Engineering. We'll have our community together mode, and then Mark Windle will talk about SharePoint embedded updates. And Aicha is going to talk about a hands-on lab building custom engine copilots with Teams, AI Library, and Azure AI Studio. Make sure to check it out. Now, if you'd like to present at any of these upcoming calls, please do so. Request to present. You can join us by going to aka.ms/community/request/demo. And we love every demo. If you got something to share, everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter if it's your first time or if it's your 100th time, everyone is welcome. Now, if you're not sure how to contribute or even how to get started presenting, we have some guidance available for you. And my friend David is here to talk to you about it.
That we do, and we're not horsing around. No, we want you to contribute, and Sharing is Caring is here to provide that guidance. So you may be thinking, if you're new to the calls, what is that? Well, it is an opportunity where we provide hands-on guidance. What does that mean? It means that we join a live Teams call together, and we make a contribution together. It is going to actually be a contribution via GitHub, that Git of Hubs, that hub of Gits, where you do pull requests and forking, and there's things that you don't even know what goes on, but you're going to know afterwards, and it's a safe space. So we work together. We don't record sessions. You can ask any and all questions. We've got a session coming up on November 25th. So be on the lookout at aka.ms/sharing is caring for the latest schedule, which will be going live today. Check it out. Now, once you do contribute, guess what? You get recognized, and that's because our recognition program is alive and well. It is powered by Credly, which means that you get official and accredited badges. And they matter, folks. You can show them to your clients. You can show them to your bosses. They show that you are making a real informal difference in the community. We've got so many fun and exciting ones. Today's the last day, so you still have an opportunity for Promptober and Hacktoberfest. We've got our Refresh Rangers, which we'll learn a little bit more about in a moment. SPFx Toolkit, of course, back for the end of the year. Slice of samples in Season of Getting. See what we did there? Getting, because it's an opportunity for you to get involved. Jokes just keep on going. It is absolutely free, everybody. aka.ms/community recognition. We do need you to opt in. It is just one time, and we will track any and everything you do in the community, and we will award you for it. Hugo, back to you. Actually, you know what? No, we got one more on Refresh Rangers. So we want to thank everybody on the next slide, and Hugo will address this a little bit more. But thank you for all of you Rangers out there. Those are all of you, some of which are on the call. So thank you. Amazing work. We're going to be moving this initiative into other repos as well moving forward. It's not a one-time and we're done. We're going to keep it going, and we're going to help out everybody across the stack. Now, Hugo, back to you.
Awesome, thank you. And David, I've heard lots of positive feedback about sharing and scaring sessions. I heard the best part is your co-presenter. In fact,
I agree. Yeah, he's pretty amazing, that guy, David.
All right. Okay, let's talk about the SharePoint framework. And to talk about it, let's bring Vesa Juvonen. Vesa.
And I'm here. Excellent. So quick things to remind. This is a form which we actually shared already earlier, but we're still collecting feedback. So if you have any extensibility or changes in the Gulp or Webpack build pipeline automation for SPFx, please do let us know. Our engineering is looking into understanding more details, what kind of things people are doing. We're looking into potentially doing some changes in a Gulp and moving the Webpack extensions completely. And we need to give you guidance, but we need to know how you're doing using these things to be able to understand the impact of those decisions. So please fill in the form. Now let's go to the following slide. What do I have here? Quick recap on the roadmap slide. Nothing new changes in here. 120 is the latest general available version. 121, no ETA currently on that one. There's a lot of things what we're currently investing and building internally, which are actually better explained on the following slide. So I did include this new slide here when we go to the following slide. Let's go to the following slide. There we go. Excellent. So recently shipped InWorks and the future. So the recently shipped is something that we have already done. So 120 and all of that stuff. 119 InWorks. There's a lot of things what we're building for SharePoint Framework and Viva Connection platform, which are currently in works. Few things which you might not have heard about, but it's what you will hear pretty soon. Content security policies finally coming out, so you're able to actually configure custom domains which are whitelisted with your tenant, so you can control and make sure that nobody can do any ad hoc cross-site scripting within your tenant and all of that, and that comes with the admin UX and all of that things. A lot of cool stuff over there. Now on the future side, all of these are subject to change, but there's a lot of interesting scenarios. But we're looking into doing more on SharePoint, boot up SharePoint apps or SharePoint sites, which means that you own the full UX as you go to the site level, which is a great concept as well. And a lot of AI and Copilot extensibility in the pipeline as well, because that's where Microsoft is heavily also investing. So if you're investing in SPFx, you can keep on doing cloud Copilot and AI extensibility with SPFx as well. So you will be safe there, and a lot of other stuff as well. Again, future section subject to change. So those are some of those are ideas. Some of them are already moving, but cannot mention which one of them. But a lot of other stuff in the pipeline. And most likely, one of the most interesting one for sure is the SPFx powered ACs or the Copilot extensibility. We'll get more and more details on this one. I think initially in Ignite timeframe, we get something which you can actually play around and test, and then we get more details right after Ignite as well. But looking really good. I was testing some of the stuff yesterday in internal builds. But that's a quick update on that side from the engineering on SPFx. Let's move the projects.
Awesome. We have many open source projects, and the one thing I want to make clear is every open source project that we're mentioning here is open source. That means you can contribute to it. If you want to see changes or you want to help out, it's not a special club. You get to participate. And the first open source project that we have is our Copilot prompts. You can go to it by going to aka.ms/bnp-prompt-library, and it's basically a samples folder of crazy prompts that you have created that you want to share with people. The one barrier to using Copilot and AI in general is that people have the impression that they need to be prompt engineers to be able to use it, and that is not the case. But going to the sample library is definitely going to help elevate your prompt game. And the prompt of the week is by Valeras Narbutas, who is saying, for the document library name in SharePoint site URL, analyze document sensitivity and propose permission levels for different groups such as marketing, sales, executives, and human resources. Highlight sensitive documents that need restricted access. That's fantastic. I would have never thought of doing that, but I'll definitely be using that. So thank you, Valeras. If you have ideas for prompts of the week, please go suggest them at aka.ms/bnp-prompt-library. Now let's bring it to the PnP.js client-side library. And to talk about it is Julie.
Hey, thanks for that, Hugo. We have version 4.7.0 to release on November 11th. As usual, we'll do documentation and package updates. But this month, we have something special from Dan Toft. He's been working on it for quite a while, and we're ready to do a beta release. So what we're adding is Lambda-style filter query. So the ability for you to build up filters using like a Lambda style and type safe way to build the query, the filter part of your query for getting items from a list or sites from the sites library or whatever it is. So that is a very cool thing. We'll be releasing it this time. And like I said, it's beta. So that means that it could change as we get feedback from the community. So try it out on the next release. Please feel free to submit issues if you have any problems with it and or you have ideas or things that you think could be enhanced about it. We'll keep it in the beta phase until we get some feedback, so at least for a few months, and give us feedback. Version 3 support, as I mentioned the last time, is ended, so please upgrade to version 4. If you need any assistance with that, please feel free to use the issues list. And as always, anytime a pull request is merged in before an actual release, you can check that update out on the V4 Nightly builds. And that is all I have. Back to you, Hugo.
Thank you. I forgot I was going to give each one of you a scary nickname for Halloween. So thanks, Spooky Julie.
Thanks.
And next to talk
I
about
am
the
spooky.
CLI.
Terrifying, really.
I want to have a spooky name as well.
I'll come up with it. It's just
Vesa the vampire.
On the spot. That's right. Vampiric Vesa. But to talk about CLI for Microsoft 365, here's Scary Gary.
Thank you, Hugo. Yes, so we have a new major release of CLI for Microsoft 365. We are at version 10. As this is a major version, there are a number of breaking changes. This is the only time in the year when we introduce these changes. This time we have a lot. So we've got 31 breaking changes. You can see all the details of each individual change in the release notes. So if you go to aka.ms/CLI-M365/notes, you will see them all listed there. But we have written an upgrade guide as well to make it easier for you to move from V9 or earlier versions to V10. So if you go to aka.ms/CLI-M365/upgrade, you will see the upgrade guidance notes to ease you on that path. We've also introduced some new features in this release as well. So we have new commands for SharePoint Online, SharePoint Premium, and Viva Engage as well. So we continue to add new features as well as tidy things up and make sure that we're maintaining the CLI going forwards. So if you want to try out this new release, you can use npm. So if you use @pmp/CLI-Microsoft 365 at latest, you will get V10. And if you want to use the Docker container as well to run CLI without actually having to install it on your machine and all the dependencies with it as well, you can use the latest tag to pull that from the Docker hub. If you have any issues, any questions around the V10 update, go to our Discord server, ask questions in there, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you are not a member, go to aka.ms/CLI-M365/Discord, and that's our invite link, and you'll be able to get in there. Moving on, Hugo. So we have another new release. This time we have a new release of Dev Proxy. This is version 0.22. So some new features in Dev Proxy. Previously, we introduced the ability for you to detect minimal permissions. We first did this for Microsoft Graph. So you could see if you were using higher permissions that you were actually needing for your requests. We expanded that to any API that it had a dependency on the Azure API Center. We've now removed that dependency as well. So if you don't have Azure API Center set up in your organization with your API catalog, you can still check for minimal permissions against any API. We still encourage you to use API Center, but if not, this is a good alternative. We've also had other improvements, improving our output of request logging, and also a neat new command that allows you to generate JSON web tokens for testing purposes as well. So if you just need a token, you just want to test something, test some permissions, you don't actually want a real token from, say, Entra or your other identity provider, you can use this command. And we've also released a new version of the Dev Proxy Toolkit. This is our VS Code extension. So in line with the 0.22 release, we've made updates in the toolkit to our snippets and a few breaking changes as well, which this change has introduced. So if you want to try Dev Proxy, go to aka.ms/devproxy and you'll find all the information, documentation, and download links. And with that, back to you, Hugo.
Thank you. And is Adam here?
Alex is not here.
Alex. Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking at, okay. Fine. Let's talk about the SPFx reusable controls. So we have the React controls version 3.19, which were released a while ago, but they brought in support for 1.19. And we did the same thing for the React property controls. We have a lot of amazing contributors who are helping. Again, we are always very grateful for their contributions. You can go get the latest version of the controls with the URLs. I'm not going to read the URLs. And you can follow us on Twitter at M365PNP Controls to follow the latest. And we have the SharePoint Framework Toolkit for VS Code v4.2.0. The new minor release of 4.2.0, which added more management capabilities by Saurabh. We've created a node version manager configuration from Guido Zambarda, who is on the call today and will be demoing. We got a GitHub Copilot chat participant, new and /new/setup commands. And in progress, we're upgrading and validating the actions that will generate a code tour in your project. You can get all the latest by going to aka.ms/viva/vscode. And then Casper, I'm sure you've heard it before. So to talk about the PNP Modern Search, we have Casper, the Haunting Spectre.
Thank you, Hugo, the Haunted Hugo. Yeah. We don't have a new release this week because it's hard to improve on perfect. So what we have instead is that an offer to you, because each second week I have an offer open where you can sign up for a half-hour team meeting with me or one of my colleagues on the team, and we can walk through if you have something, you will have a new experience where you want to use PNP Modern Search for a specific purpose and you don't really know how to get started, for instance. That's one option that we will have to get in general guidance and an architecture overview for you. Or we can help you out if you have a problem that's driving you nuts. Because sometimes you just stare at the problem so long that you can't really see what's going on. So in that case, it would be nice to have another set of eyes on that issue. And in most cases, we can help you out within that half an hour. And you see the dates available. They are here, and we have until New Year already scheduled. So just sign up, and I'll see you there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, we have a few updates on the PNP SPFx samples. So the samples are repositories that include web part samples and extensions. And let's face it, a lot of the samples were out of date, but thanks to Adam's initiative with the Refresh Rangers, we asked people to help us update the samples. And this is the list of only the extensions that have been updated. I'm not going to be able to list through all of them, obviously. We do have one new sample by Alex Texan, the Quick Create Application Customizer, which is fantastic. But everything else has been updated by a lot of our regular contributors and some new contributors. We really appreciate that. If you haven't looked at SPFx extensions in a while because you thought they were maybe not so fresh, we do have some latest updates. And we have more. So this is just the SPFx web part samples that also have been updated to 120, again, by a lot of our fantastic contributors. And one more page. So please do take the time to thank all of the people who contributed to this, and please do take the time to go look at the latest samples because they're new and up to date. And we really look forward to having more samples from everyone in the coming months. All right. Now let's talk about the SPFx Aces. We have Derek.
Hello, Hugo. I didn't get a nickname this time.
Oh, I'll come up with one.
See? Fine. I see how it is. All right. So, we have two brand new Aces from Ahmad, and they are outlining some of the new functionality to allow HTML in the quick views. One is just a basic sample showing how to, and the other is a search-based FAQ using PNP.js. So check those out, and if you're doing the same thing, feel free to submit. We love to review the new samples.
Awesome, thank you. And I think David's taken over the. Is it David that's taken over the
Yes,
optional
absolutely.
picture time?
Thank
All
you,
right.
hideously handsome Hugo. Today we are going to take a look at our together mode. So let's see, get those cameras turned on, everybody.
I think we have 50 seats in the room. We are hitting the limits pretty soon, but I think we took some time on messing up with the technology. Let me put the recording on. Let's do some hand waving. Oh, and let's everybody wave hands. Thank you for joining. Awesome to have you on the call. Awesome to see familiar faces and younger generation as well who are enjoying on the lab. That's really, really cool. Thank you for joining. Really cool to have you on the call. Thank you. We'll do this again in the next call. David, I didn't see you here. Where are you? Did you get dropped? I think he's having really bad.
It looks like he's seeing the light. All right, let me take over the screen, if only temporarily, to introduce our demos. So up next is Nello, DeAndrea, and Nicole, to talk about building real-world intranet with SPFx in-page navigation. The floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Hi, my name is Nicole, and I work in corporate communications at La Mobilière. I'm responsible for our intranet, and I'm also the product owner for the development of our intranet solution.
Hello, my name is Nello D'Andrea. Just call me Nello. I'm a developer specifically in the SharePoint field since 15 years. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nello. We work for La Mobilière, the oldest insurance company in Switzerland. With 6,400 employees and 80 general agencies, we insure every third household and every third company in Switzerland. In our IT department, some 600 specialists ensure the smooth running of our systems and modernize our core IT systems. We also developed our intranet internally with our team 2 years ago. The solution we all love and will showcase today is the in-page navigation. We had the following challenge. Our employees need to quickly find information and see all the related content for a particular topic on one page. With our extensive content, like product pages, scrolling can be quite tiring. We needed a system where colleagues can easily see if the information they need is there and get to it fast. We also wanted to make it easier for our publishers to create and update content. We had 3 main objectives. Firstly, we needed a way to show the page structure automatically at the beginning. This helps our publishers save time when creating or updating a page. Second, our colleagues get a quick overview with a table of contents and can reach the information they need with one click. Last but not least, it should be easy to navigate through the page from anywhere. You can jump to any section and return to any other point on the page with just one click. We are so happy with the great solution that Nello has implemented for us. He is now showing us how it works, how to use it, and how he has developed it. Enjoy.
Thank you, Nicole, for your kind words. So implementing solution is one part of the process, but we need a great product owner like Nicole. It's essential for guiding you to success. And also our engineering team is also great implementing my solution. For this solution, we even incorporated a great idea from one of our users who shared it with us during a visit to a general agency. So how does the implementation look? We have two SPFx solutions, which you can use together or independently based on your needs. So there are no strict dependency between them. You can use either the anchor web part or the scroll to top customizer. Both solutions work smoothly and complement each other very well. The web part reads all headings or title on a page. For example, when you put an heading from a text web part, standard text web part from SharePoint. If you structure your SharePoint page with headings, the web part automatically creates an in-page navigation for your users. All processing is done dynamically, so users only need to update their pages. The application customizer injects on the page and becomes visible when the user scrolls down. It disappears when users are at the top of the page. The customizer has two functions. First, it shows a scroll to top button, which is useful on non-SharePoint page. Next to this button, if the anchor web part is present on the page, it shows a button that, when clicked, automatically display all anchors found on the page according to headings and settings defined in the anchor web part. As mentioned, both solutions complement each other well. The goal is to enhance SharePoint's in-page navigation, especially for long pages. We designed this solution to be intuitive for content publisher and easy for user consuming content. Now let's move to a demo. I will share my screen. So do you see my screen? Great.
Okay.
Great. So we have a SharePoint page where we have pre-installed the anchor web part and also the scroll to top. So when I'm on top of the page, I don't see the scroll to top. If I scroll down, I see the scroll to top. So now these one are the anchor, which are automatically created based on the settings of the web part. I have here H2 tags, which I have on the page. So I can here click on this one, and then it jumps on this part of the page. And here I see the scroll to top. I can click here and go down, up. Then I can go to solution, for example. I'm here. And if I click on this button, then I have the same navigation, which is not this one because I did not reload the page. That was the demo. Yeah, exactly. And I see here the navigation, which is the same as the navigation on top. So now I just will show how we can change the settings of the web part. So we have various settings on this page. We can define that it reads, for example, heading 3 or 4 in the first and last tags. This was all requisite from our business. And I can also change to a so-called numeric layouts, where it will automatically number all the headings which we did find. So if I now publish the page and reload the page, then I'm here. I can jump to, for example, solution, and I have here exactly the same settings, which is rendered. So the scroll to top customizer reads the settings, which is saved on the page, and rendered this accordingly to your settings, which you have here. So the experience is seamlessly between the anchor web part and this customizer. So now let's move to the code. I will first show the web part. So it's standard React web part, which is great. And we have here an anchor component, which is loaded. And then in the anchor component, we just first get all the anchor tags through a little service class. And this anchor tags leverage the great PNPGS framework. And we just read from the page context, the current list ID, which is the site page library, and also the list item ID, which is the current page. And then we get the canvas content field. Now you have a little console log. I will just show you how this looks like and how you can also build on that. So I start my gulp serve, just copy that, and yeah, just put this here. So great. Now, and it should console log the whole stuff, so it's a lot, but I can copy that and make it much more friendly for me. I'll just create a file and put this one here, just format it, and you have the whole SharePoint page. It's valid HTML, and you can look how it works, how it is saved in the SharePoint context. So let's just get back to this. After we have read the content of the page, we use a standard API from the browser, which is widely supported. It's the DOM parser, so you can load the content in this with this method, and then you can perform various operation. Like here, we just go and grab all the headings for our purpose, and then we process and generate the code accordingly in the React component. So let's move to the second component. It's the app customizer. You may remember we have first time we did a call. We did put this with observer JavaScript observer. Here we have implemented it with a standard SPFx method. So we leverage the bottom placeholder, which is supported, and then we can go here to our scroll to top, and we see that we have two methods in order to do the processing, because in the application customizer, we first need to make sure if the anchor web part is available, and if it's available, we need to read the settings of the anchor web part. So this is also done in the service class, and we parse the content, and because we know that the anchor web part may be on the page, we can grab the content here with this easy access. And we have the width of the web part, which is generated and is fixed on the page. And if the web part is found, then we populate our settings, and then we can render the whole model like I have shown it before. That was the demo. Thank you very much. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nello. So if you like this solution, you can download it on our GitHub. If you want to read more about, you'll find some blog posts on puntobello.ch, and you also can connect with us on LinkedIn or on GitHub. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you so much. That was fantastic. And now we will move on to Guido Zambarda to talk about how to get started using the application customizer. Guido, anytime you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. The floor is yours.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm Guido Zambarda. I'm a Microsoft certified senior software developer at psys.com, and welcome to my demo session about the application customizer. Nello did a great job with his demo, but I will try my best to get started with the application customizer. Here you can find my social handles and my blog post where I post regularly on a weekly basis. And if you're interested in the SharePoint Framework world, maybe you can find something that you would like. Now, okay. Okay, I can do that. Starting with what is the application customizer? We already saw something with the previous demo, but for the one who doesn't know what is an application customizer, is a SharePoint Framework extension, and it's mainly composed of two placeholders in the page. So as you can see in the screenshot, we have a top placeholder and a bottom placeholder. And those are mainly the two things that you can customize with the application customizer. You can also do other stuff that doesn't require a UI, but I will cover those two scenarios in this demo. Now, setting a little bit of context regarding my demo. We want to create a SharePoint Framework solution, and I will show you how to create it with a YAML generator or with SharePoint Framework Toolkit. And we want, obviously, to customize the header or the footer of the page. So, starting with the demo, I will begin with the YAML generator, which I already opened here. And as you can see, you can run the instance of YAML generator with yo at Microsoft/SharePoint, which will ask you a few questions for scaffolding your solution. The first one is the solution name. And after that, you have to create you have to select the type of component that you want to create. Since the application customizer is a SharePoint Framework extension, we will select the extension option. And after that, you will have to select the extension that you want to create. And after that, obviously, we're selecting the application customizer in this case. And after that, you can specify the name of your application customizer. After that, I will not cover it, but after that, YAML generator will scaffold the solution, and then you can start developing your custom application customizer. Okay, this is the first. This was the first method. Switching to the second, here I have an empty Visual Studio Code extension, and I've installed the SharePoint Framework Toolkit, which you can see up here. And when I click it, a bunch of options are selectable. And in this case, since we want to create a new project, I will click on the first one, where I can define what is the root folder of the project, the name of the project, and after that, you have something like the YAML generator, where you can specify the component that you wish to create, and in this case, is the extension. And after that, you can specify the name of the extension that we want to create and the type of the extension. In this case, obviously, is the application customizer. After that, and after filling all the required fields, you can create the new SharePoint Framework project. And also, in this way, you can get started developing your solution. Switching to the real demo of today, here is my demo environment, and you can see, as we said before, we have two placeholders on the page about the application customizer, and one is the top one, which is this one, where I simply put welcome to SharePoint Framework text. And the bottom one, where I have placed a sort of navigation bar, which will open or my blog or a getting started article on the PMP documentation. And the application customizer will be available through all the sites. If I navigate in the documents, for example, there will still be the application customizer. But if you're wondering, if I go to the library settings, for example, there will not be any placeholder for the application customizer. So keep that in mind if you're planning to use it. So proceeding, I will show you a little bit of the code that I used. And this is my sample solution. And after creating your solution with either Yeoman Generator or the Visual Studio SharePoint Framework Toolkit extension, you will have something like this, where you have inside the source and the extension folders, there will be a folder dedicated to your application customizer. Inside that, you will have the manifest.json, which defines what is your application customizer, and also the application customizer class, which defines what is the behavior of your application customizer. Inside the class, we have our application customizer defined, and the keyword that it's extending the base application customizer. Inside that, you will have on init method, which is the mainly entry point of the application customizer, and inside of this, you will perform all the required development that you want. In this case, since I've simply put a text in the top area of the page and a navigation in the bottom area of the page, I defined two methods, one for the top and one for the bottom, so I can define how to use those. Those methods are down here, and for example, for the first one, which is the top, I defined at the class level a top placeholder variable, which is of type placeholder content, and this will contain all the content that will be placed inside the placeholder of our application customizer. So at first, we will check that the top placeholder is defined and has a value, because if it has a value, it's not required to perform another object instance. And after that, we are effectively trying to create the content of our placeholder using the web application customizer context, which exposes the placeholder provider. And this exposes also the try create content method, which is in charge to create effectively your placeholder object. And there you can specify which is the type of the placeholder that you want to create. And since this is the render top placeholder method, the placeholder name will be top. And I want to show you the placeholder enumerator by now supports only the top and the bottom possibilities. So keep that in mind also. And after creating our top placeholder, down here, I will just check that the DOM element has a value. And if it does not, I will simply create the element that I want to use and set it to the React DOM element. In this case, the top component is a simple one, as you saw before on my demo environment. And it just creates a div element rendered with a styling that I choose and with a custom message that I set in the localization file. And after that, we have the other render bottom placeholder method, which does mostly the same thing as the previous one, but I want to show you that the try create content using the placeholder provider is the bottom one. So it's specified in this way that the control that we are instancing would be in the bottom placeholder. And then down here, after creating the placeholder, we are creating effectively the component that we want to use. And in this case, the bottom component is a simple command bar where, as I showed you before, there are two possible items. And one is opening my blog, and the other one opening the Getting Started article on the PMP documentation. And with this is all. So switching back to the slides, I've left a couple of references for you. One is the official guide on learn.microsoft.com about creating the application customizer. And the other one is the source code of the demo I just showed you about the basic application customizer. So with this, thank you all, and back to you, Hugo.
Thank you so much. That was two great demos. Hopefully you can see my screen now. I'd like to thank our demoers, Nello, Nicole, and Guido, for fantastic demos that are kind of related or in the same domain. That was fantastic. All right, let's move on to our feedback. So if you have some feedback, please give us the feedback by going to aka.ms/community/calls/feedback. And your feedback can absolutely be, there's too many slashes in that URL. We welcome all the feedback, the good and the bad. We're always trying to improve. And if you have Discord, join our official Discord server where you can connect, learn, and collaborate. We have a bunch of amazing community members on the Discord server, and we're always happy to share our knowledge, ask questions, and stay up to date. You can go to aka.ms/community/Discord to join one of our 2,300 and plus members. And I'd like to thank you, everyone, for attending this call. The recording will be available in 24 hours on the Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel at aka.ms/community/YouTube. You can follow us on X at Microsoft 365Dev or at M365PNP. Our next Viva Connections and SPFx call will be November 14th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Our next M365 and Power Platform call will be November 7th at 7 a.m. Pacific time. All the community calls can be attained. No, you can get all of them by going to aka.ms/community/calls. And now for the spookiest thing ever for VESA, we're just going to have 10 minutes of silence. Thanks, everyone. No.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to everybody.